Well, good morning again. It looks like we've finished Module 1 and we're ready to move on to Module 2. And Module 2 is about the federal government and the federal court system. But before I move on to that, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Module 2 has two parts. Part 1 is the federal government and Part 2 is the federal court system. The base module itself has the discussion forum folder and a quiz in it. Part 1 of this, which is the federal government, has a video to watch, so you have a video synopsis that you have to do. And there are 5 websites to visit. Now, what I would like you to do is put your website exploration and do all 5 websites in one website exploration. Okay? Part 2 has a handout to read. This is a publication of the federal judicial system. It gives you a very, very good understanding in a very easily readable form to learn about the federal court system. Okay? Plus, you have 3 websites to report on. And again, do only one website exploration for all 3 websites. Also notice that this module will take approximately 2 weeks to complete. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to do here. Question is, why am I forcing you to do this? Why am I forcing you to refresh your memory, go back to high school, do a civics lesson, and study the federal government and the federal court system? Well, I have 3 or 4 reasons why this is important information. Well, you are a citizen. You have voting rights. You may wish to advocate or disagree with some sort of position or some sort of proposed law, some sort of proposed regulation. You may be passionate about it. And so you need to know how to do that. Or you may be an official of your organization who is representing your organization, whether it be the public sector, whether it be the commercial sector, or whether it be the tax-exempt nonprofit world. All 3 lobby, all 3 are asked to provide information. You are asked by your superiors to go and do some research. But how do you navigate? How do you know? The only way to know is to find out about the federal government system so that you can make your organization's position known, or you can adequately go out and get the information, research, so that you can do projects within the law. Okay? You need to know which regulatory agencies have what authority. Okay? What happens if we go to the court system? Now we talked about the government and how to navigate just a little bit. What happens if you find yourself named in a lawsuit? And chances are you will. Okay? The way our adversarial system works is that the alleged party who has been injured will sue everybody for everything, which means that even though you're on the job and you're representing your organization, you may also be named in a suit. Okay, well, how do you deal with that? Okay, you may find yourself working or dealing with some sort of complaint through OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. That's employee safety. What happens if there's some sort of accident on the job? How about the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission? What happens when you find yourself on the wrong end of a harassment suit? What about environmental regulations? You've been offered a piece of property for your parks, and it's wetland. Or it may have an unknown waste storage site where people dumped hazardous waste. Well, if you take on the ownership of that property, that is your agency does, you're responsible for it. There's also the Americans with Disabilities Act. Okay? So there are a lot of reasons why we want to know about both the federal government and the federal court system. And that's what this module attempts to explore. Okay? It's important to know the three branches of government. The executive, which is where all the regulatory agencies are, where we administer programs. The Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Forest Service, for example. Okay? The legislative branch, where you advocate for or against a position or a proposed law. Okay? And then, of course, the judicial system, which is where people take their complaints. Or the federal government takes your organization to court because they may have done something wrong, or the government thinks they have done something wrong. So that's what this module's about. I'll see you in the ether. Bye.